Hello and welcome to video 2 of my end of year business review series. Last week we talked about reflection and reviewing from that internal place, and today we're going to be talking about systems, which is something I know more about. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kim. I help therapists get online, get confident with admin and reduce tech overwhelm. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be looking at what you can do at the end of the year when things are a bit quieter, you've probably got some time off and you have some time to kind of clear up your systems, make sure things are secure, and take a look over all of your old client files. So the first thing I want to talk about is just your normal computer or your laptop, whatever you're using. If you are saving things to like the desktop or your documents, something local, so something on your actual computer, now is a really good time to make sure that is all backed up. Now, the simplest way to do that is to just buy a USB, something like this, which can go into your computer, and then you can just copy all of the information from your computer onto this and then keep this somewhere safe. So that would be a real simple and cheap way to do it. What I would, however, recommend is making sure that everything is automatically backed up to a cloud-based server. So you can use something like OneDrive or Dropbox, and you can make sure that once you save something, it gets uploaded to those systems. Or you can just use something like Google Drive and make sure that actually everything you do with regards to your private practice is on there, so you know that they back up their systems and you're not going to lose anything. If you do the reverse of that already and you already have a cloud-based system, what I would suggest is just downloading some of your really important things, such as your master client list, your bookkeeping templates, invoicing templates, something like that. Just download it to your local computer so you have a copy of it for the end of the year. This is just something I do just so that I have copies of all the important documents within my business. As we're talking about your private practice specifically, now is a great time to review your paperwork. Have a look if anything needs changing. Maybe you've made a change to your holiday policy, your cancellation policy, your fees. So now is a really good time to make those changes and then make sure that those changes are reflected on whatever system you're using to get clients to sign. So for example, if you're using Signable, you will need to re-upload your Word or PDF contract and then add all the templates on again. So this is something you'll need to do anytime you make a change to your paperwork, and it can be a tedious task, but once it's done once, it's done. It's also really good to send out client update forms once a year, just to make sure you have all the up-to-date information on your clients. Maybe somebody's moved, maybe somebody has a new doctor, maybe somebody has started working with a psychiatrist or something like that. So now is a good time to send out a form to all of your clients just to say that you're required to get updated information once every 12 months, and could they just complete this form. The form could be a Google form, it could be sent as a Word document or via Signable, just so that they confirm that no changes have been made, or they can give you the changes to their personal information. So if you have a master client list, this is going to be really easy for you to do, because you can just go down the list of all your clients and send them all one email with the same information. You can have a Gmail template for it as well. So I'll leave a link to my master client list and also my video about Gmail, which will help you easily send these emails out. It can also be a good time to clear out any documents you don't need anymore. So I know for most of you, you'll have to save all of your client information for 7 years. So if you've got any that are over that time, those can be deleted. You can also move documents around. So if you finished working with a client, you can move them out of your current private practice files, just so everything's really neat and tidy and you know who you're currently working with and who you've worked with previously. Another really tedious task is looking at your passwords. So I got a notification from my phone last year to tell me that I was using the same password on over 40 different websites, which is actually quite scary if you think about it, because if somebody gets that password for one, then they can potentially have access to a lot more. So I did, between Christmas and New Year's last year, spend a long time looking at those websites and giving them different passwords and making sure that they were saved to my phone so that I always knew which password I needed. So I cannot remember all of the passwords I have, so it's a really good idea to have some kind of database of your passwords somewhere so that you can get access to everything you need. So there are 2 ways that I currently save all my passwords. So one of them is on my Google Chrome profile. So I actually have a profile for my business, So when I load that profile, all of the passwords I need for all of the websites and apps that I use on my computer for my business come up. And then I have a profile for each of my clients I work with, so I only have their password saved on their own profile. Another way you can do this is by setting up LastPass. So you can set up a LastPass account, you can add all your passwords there, and then once you're logged into LastPass, when you open a website, it will automatically input the information you need. So you don't actually have to remember any passwords apart from the one you need to get into your computer or the one to get onto LastPass. So if you just remember one password, then you have access to everything else that you need. And this is a much more secure way than having just one password that you use for everything, but without the hassle of you having to remember 500 passwords. So if you do have a spare couple of hours over Christmas and New Year, it would be a good idea to set up one of these things, either Google Chrome, or I'm sure Apple have a similar system, so that you can save passwords there, or create a LastPass account and actually go through, look at all the systems that you're using and make sure they have secure passwords on them. Whilst we're on the subject of actual websites and apps that you use, now is a really good time for you to have a look and make sure that those websites, anything you're paying for, is actually being used within your practice. So you could have a look over the past 12 months what you're paying for and work out if those are actually helping your business and you are actually using them. And if you're not, delete them. First of all, that will save you money in the long run, but second of all, it means that you won't have all of these open accounts with potentially a password that you're using on other apps and websites that could be hacked. Now, please don't think I'm sitting here thinking that all of this stuff is really exciting and fun things to do at the end of the year. It's not, but I do think it's necessary. And if you do take the time whilst you have some downtime and whilst kind of the whole world is having downtime, it can really save you a lot of time and stress next year. And the last thing I want to talk about is something that you could do now or you could do in January. And it's really down and writing down every single thing you're doing for a whole week for your business. So writing down when you're seeing clients, writing down when you're doing client notes, writing down when you're doing admin and invoicing and inbox management, all that kind of stuff. Literally just write it down throughout the day. 9 o'clock to 9:30 inbox management, 9:30 to 10:20 client session, things like that. And then what I want you to do is go down that list and have a look at what things only you can do. So that would be things like client sessions and potentially client notes. It could also be some of your inbox management. Then for everything that's left over, have a look at how often you're doing it and how repetitive it is, because maybe there's a way that you can automate that task, or it could be outsourced. So for example, your inbox management can be severely reduced if you have a virtual assistant, for example, because they can take a lot of the emails that you're getting off of your plate. They could also do your invoicing for you, they could sort your schedule out, and even type up your client notes, amongst other things. If you're not ready to outsource, there may be things that can be automated by using certain systems. So for example, if you're not using any kind of system for your practice management, just getting Google Workspace alone would automate a lot of your work. Or if invoicing is a real tedious task for you, you could actually get an invoicing platform such as Stripe or PayPal that can take a lot of the administration out of invoicing for you. So just to quickly go over those things that I've discussed, the first thing is backing up your computer. The second thing is looking at your client files and seeing if you can tidy up the actual documents and folders within your practice. The third thing is looking at your passwords and making sure that you are as secure as possible. And the fourth thing is looking at what you're doing in a week and seeing if you can change that for next year to automate things a bit more, outsource things you don't enjoy or things that are taking you a lot of time. I know at the end of the year you can feel really drained and really ready for a break, and you'll just think about your practice again in January. But actually doing some of this work now can make next year a lot easier for you. So I really hope you found that useful. Next week we're going to be talking all about finances, and I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching.